The lab is much more like what we are expected to do on the field, right? When you are working on the field, the tools you'll be making use of while on the field are the tool we'll be making use in the lab. So that's why we just want each and every one of us to, see the environment, right, of the lab, and also we get used to how, to make use of this lab. All right, so today we will start by just looking at Security Plus, which is the first step we'll be taking. Of course, we mentioned that this class is a special one. We've been having cybersecurity, classes, but the one that combined three major courses, together at once, it's just this one we are working on. It's a special edition, which I would like every one of us to take advantage of. We mentioned in the last class that for us that are available in the last class, it's an opportunity for us to reach out to whosoever we know, that that can take advantage of this course. It's very important. I don't know when next we'll be having these three major courses combined together in cybersecurity, next. So, but this opportunity we have, let's make a good use of it. All right, so we'll be looking at overview of the first course, which has to do with Security Plus. And much more Security Plus introduce us to the fundamentals of security that is expected of us to know. We mentioned in the last class how CompTIA is a vendor neutral platform that touch every part of security, that touch every part of cybersecurity, and that's just what we're going to go through. What are those things we're expected to cover in CompTIA Security Plus? All right, so looking at the screen, you will see the course title and the code. The course title and the code. Now, I want you to be excited about this course because what we are taking are the current versions of all courses available. For example, the current version of CompTIA Security is SYO 601. Before this, we used to have SYO 605. That was the previous version before the 601. So we have 501, which was the previous version before 601. So this is the current version of the CompTIA Security Plus course, and that's what we're going to be covering. Also, for the CEH, the current version is version 12, and that's what we are also going to focus on. The Certified Ethical Hacking version 12, it's what we'll be focusing on. All right, so now what does this course entail? Very quickly, we're going to go through that. Number one, we're expected to introduce ourselves. Now, all of this we've done in the first class. We've given opportunity for each and every one of us to introduce ourselves, tell us about what experience you have, or why do you want to take this course, expectation and your objective. All right, so at our end, we've been able to explain all of these to you. So what's the course all about? So CompTIA is the first security certification every IT professional should earn. The first security certification every IT professional So that no wonder we are starting with CompTIA, right? It helps to establish core knowledge that is required of any cybersecurity roles and provides a springboard to intermediate level cybersecurity role, right? So it's a course that takes you from zero to an intermediate level, right? You have the basic and also you grow above that basic knowledge. Security Plus incorporates best practices in hands-on troubleshooting to ensure security professionals have practical security problem-solving skills. So that's why we mention more on hands-on, hands-on. And that's what the entire courses is designed around. All right. So the cybersecurity professional with Security Plus, they know how to address security incidents, not just to identify them. All right. So the first thing we'll be doing is, giving us knowledge on identifying each of these security incidents. Now, after identification, then we know what to do in order to address these security incidents. All right, so maybe I should just touch one or two things. Security incidents just has to do with an adverse occurrence that happened, right? That occurred within a work environment. Something not really good when it comes to security. That's an incident, right? Something bad. So whenever you begin to hear of incident, right, you should be having the mind that something really bad had occurred and there is need for identification and mitigation. When you identify, then you can mitigate. All right, so now the course objective includes comparing security rules, security controls. Its focus, apart from that, we'll look at threat actors and intelligence. These are what we are expected to cover. Now, let me explain here that the entire security course is divided into 5 modules. Now, each of these modules are seen in days, right? Now, in this course, is designed into 5 days. Now, when you say 5 days, it doesn't mean we are going to cover Security Plus for 5 days. All right, so the 5 days is just based on the 5 modules, right? So each of those 5 modules have several topics which are outlined under each one, and that we're expected to go through each of these to understand, security incidents and solutions to be delivered for each of these incidents. All right, so we'll look at threat actors, threat intelligence. We'll look at security assessments, right? How do we perform security assessments? And identifying social engineering attack. Now, these are basic things we need to know about. We'll look at types of malware. We'll look at cryptography, right? Summarizing cryptographic concepts and also implementing public key infrastructure. All right, so from there, we'll be looking at implementing authentication control. How do we ensure that only those that should be granted access to resources in our environment are granted access? From there, we'll look at implementing identity and account management control. So, and other topics we are going to cover include how do we secure network design, right? I think earlier on, I explained the importance of network when it comes to security, right? Network is very, very important. All right, so we'll look at the design, network design. How do you ensure you have a secure network design? And the importance of network security appliances, right? Now, much of what we are securing in this environment is built over network. right? Much of our security are built around network. All right, so we'll be looking at ensuring, importance of each of these network security appliances and the network protocols, right? Very important. As cybersecurity professionals, those protocols are key to us because they help us to know the points or protocols which attackers are interested in making use of in order to launch the attack to us. All right, so from there, we'll look at implementing host, embedded, and Internet of Things security solution, right? So what are different security solutions available for different computing devices, right? Embedded system, the Internet of Things, and mobile devices. Your tablet, your mobile phone. What should we do? What should we put in place to ensure security? All right, from there, we'll be looking at implementing secure cloud solution. Of course, we know that now cloud computing is taking over virtually every part of technological solution. So we want to see how to implement a secure cloud solution. From there, we'll be looking at data privacy and protection concepts. All right, so that's where we ensure, right, privacy of data and concept through which we are to ensure protection of our data. From there, we'll be looking at performing incident response and digital forensics. All right, so incident response has to do with our own plan, organizational plan at hand, to respond to incidents, right? And conducting digital forensic, that is, to take further solution to get to reasons, right? Why a particular attacker is trying to launch an attack and who is behind an attack, right? Digital forensic tell us more about how to find out. How do you nail an attack to a person or group of people, right? Okay, so from there, we'll be looking at summarizing risk management concepts and implementing cybersecurity resilience. All right, so take risk management further and ability for us to, to manage risk. It's key to security solution. As a matter of fact, we've mentioned that there are no perfect security infrastructure. Oh, okay. Let me not say security infrastructure. Let's say there are no perfect secured environment. No organization can tell you we have totally eradicated risk in our environment. In security, what we are doing is to limit risk within our environment to the barest minimum. Barest minimum such that that risk will be insignificant. The existence of that risk will be insignificant. So, cannot pose major security challenge in our environment. That's basically what we do in cybersecurity, right? Limiting impact of this risk within our environment. And lastly, we'll be explaining physical security, right? When you put all other security implementation we talk about has to do with logical security. Physical security also very, very important. If you take that away from logical, it's just like you are throwing your door open for attacker to attack you through the physical means. All right, so these are topics we will be covering in this course, right? This is, the different area angles we are going to focus on. And note that the entire course is laid out to cover exams objective, right? Topics that focus more on questions over Computer Security Plus exam, right? All right, so, and we have the SAT Master Learn and Computer Learning Center. It's a platform for CompTIA that helps students, right, to read up other information as related to the course. And you can just log on to learncomputer.org. You have lots of information available for you there as a student to guide you around the course. All right, so I explained earlier on that the course is designed or categorized into 5 modules. Those modules are in days. So for the first module, which is day 1, the topics under has to do with comparing security roles and security controls. Now, these are the topics I've just mentioned earlier on: threat actors, threat intelligence, security assessment, and identifying social engineering and malware. Now, this is for the first module out of the 5 module in the course. Module 2, which is for day 2, has to do with cryptographic concepts, public key infrastructure, authentication control, and identity and account management control. All right, so the entire topics which we have discussed over are now broken down under each module, 5 modules as I've explained earlier on. Day 3, which is for module 3, cover network design, secure network design, network security appliances, and secure network protocols. And we also have host security solution, right? Different solutions that we can deploy for hosts. Day 4, which is module 4, has secure mobile solution. How do we ensure our mobile devices are secured? All right, so secure application concepts, and it has cloud security, right? And also the data privacy and protection. Now, the 5th module, which is, day 5, for the final module, has to do with incident response, right? How do we perform incident response? Digital forensic, risk management concepts, cybersecurity resilience, and physical security. All right, so these are the 5 major modules, the 5 modules for CompTIA Security Plus. 5 modules for CompTIA Security Plus. All right, so, and that's just what we're going to be covering within the course. And from there, as I've explained earlier on, I said each of these topics, these 5 modules, are built around lab exercise, right? We have several lab exercises for each of these topics, and the entire lab exercise are designed even based on the module, right? As each of the topics, right, in the module are arranged. So is the lab exercise we are to work on. such, so they are also, the lab exercise are also arranged that way. All right, so, and we are just going to, go through the lab exercise, right? So, sorry about that. So we'll go through the lab environment, right? We'll see what and what exercise do we have, in the lab environment. All right, so let's see for ourselves lab exercises we are going to be, taking in this course. All right, so just as I've explained, the lab exercises are designed alongside the topics, right? Various topics which we are going to be covering. Now, the course contents I've shared with us all, right? The course content, yeah. I've shared the course content with us all. All right, so this is where our lab is. Now, yeah, the lab is on the cloud, just as we have explained earlier on. The essence of this is it gives us fast access to each of these resources available over the lab. And all I've done is just to log in, right? I've logged in. The link is login.comtia.org. So when you get to the link, it asks for, your login credentials. You log in, then you will be able to access what's called the labs. Now, this is if it's after logging in, all you need to do is scroll down and access your training lab. All right, so here I have the CompTIA labs and the SATmaster labs. So these two are programs by CompTIA, right? So if I click on this to access the resource I'm having, so it's going to load my labs. Now, looking at the labs, I have several of other courses subscribed to under CompTIA for learning purpose. So what the one we'll be using, or the one we are looking at right away, is the SATmaster Lab for Security Plus. Now look at the code SY0601. Now I talked about that as the recent version, right? Which CompTIA makes use of. All right, so this is the SATmaster Labs, right, for Security Plus. And you can just read through, hands-on practice and skill development using real equipment and software, access through a remote browser base. That is, the way we are accessing this lab now is just through a remote, and we are using browser, right, to access the lab environment. Now that has aligned with official CompTIA courseware and the CompTIA Security Plus exam, right? Both on the exam objective, right? Okay, so now, if I go down, these are the table of contents for the lab, right? Table of contents. So the lab is designed around those topics. Each of those topics we have just looked at. Now, some of the topic has to do with encryption, right? And so on. So if you look through, the lab is arranged according to each of the topics. So here we have the assisted lab. We have the exploring the lab environment for us to look at how the entire environment of the lab look like. Scanning and identifying network nodes. That has to do with performing reconnaissance, right? How do attackers, scan devices in your environment, or you as a security professional also, get to know about devices. When you scan devices in your environment, you can detect, presence of an intruder or an attacker around. So if you go through, if you look at it, we have, this is lab that has to do with intercepting and interpreting network traffic. This has to do with result of credential vulnerability scan. How do you scan vulnerability? Of course, before we do this, we would have explained the concept. That's why, or how the course is built. You discuss concept, then you practice the lab, right? You practicalize the concept you have discussed. So before, doing something called credential vulnerability scan, we would have explained what credential vulnerability scan is. All right, so from there, we'll look at how do you block a malware-based backdoor. We'll look at network reconnaissance and vulnerability scanning. We'll look at life cycle of a certificate, managing the life cycle of certificate. We'll look at what a certificate, digital certificates are. All right, so here has to do with certificates with open SSL. We'll discuss that. Now, if you go through, you see lot of tasks to be done, right, in the lab. All right, so here it has to do with identifying application attack indicators, right? A lot of tasks to be done in the lab, right? The lab is about 35 different activities. 35 different activities, right? That's what we have available in the lab. And that's what we are going, each and every one of us are going to be, doing. And don't forget, we talked much about teamwork, right? Teamwork. It's very important, especially in this field of security, right? You work with other members of team to ensure you are, you have a secured environment, right? And the essence of this is just to, to promote team spirit among participants in this course, and also to ensure that when you interact with others, right, you can pick 1 or 2 points from other students, right? Sometimes maybe the language the instructor is using, it's a little bit difficult for you to understand, but through interaction with other students, you can easily pick up, points. Sometimes you have a particular notion of, a concept. Then through interaction, you can see other people's view on that particular concept. All right, so this is how all of this is. So I'm just going to, I will launch one just for us to see. We are not going to be doing anything. I just want us to get familiar with the environment and see, it's loading, right? So now what's happening here is that whenever you launch this, it's actually connecting to a real live device, right? We're accessing this remotely in the sense that your device is at one end of a network. Now, this device, servers, we have a lot of servers and other, devices installed with tools, which is expected of us to make use of in this course. So, these devices exist somewhere, CompTIA have built up those devices remotely somewhere around their own physical lab. They have their own physical lab. So they've ensured that through the internet, from the comfort of your home, you can connect with that lab, right? With that servers, those equipment which they've put in place, right? Using internet connection. All right, so that's why we call it cloud, lab in the cloud. Why? Because we make use of internet, to access those resources. So now it's getting virtual machine started for us to make use of in the lab, right? For us to use it. All right, so this will connect us to several, so one of the several virtual machines available in the CompTIA Cloud Lab environment. All right, so in just some seconds. All right, so you can see I'm connected to a machine here. Can you see the machine? Okay, as at the time over there, we have different time zone. It's 2:35, and the date is Wednesday, November 22. All right, so this is the lab, right?
Yes.
That's the virtual machine in the lab, which we are to make use of. Here we have instruction of what to do, what is expected of us to do on this lab. Instruction has been here. So that's why we refer to it as hands-on. So you have to, one after the other, begin to click and perform the exercise. What comes here, I want us to know, the procedures to carry out those exercises has been given to us. Then we'll do it by ourselves and see, the effect of what we are doing or applying. When you learn and you're able to see what you are being taught, it has a lasting impact on users, right? It has a lasting impact on users. You can easily remember because you carry this out by yourself. You try this, right? You put it into practice by yourself. All right, so that's how now notice that this lab has its value 0, 1. Assisted lab, exploring the lab environment. So for each of the lab you get connected to, right? It has its own value. So this is lab 1, which we are connected to lab 2. If I connect to this, it's going to put the value there, lab 02, and it will show scanning and identifying network nodes, right? So whatever we'll be seeing there has to do with, the topic, which has to do with the concept we have discussed earlier on before, performing tasks on the lab. All right, so that's pretty much how the cloud looks like. And this, we are all going to be given access to, right? We will all have access to this lab, we'll have access to carry out, perform each of the tasks as stated in the lab. And that's we boost our knowledge about whatsoever concepts we have discussed. Now, don't forget I mentioned that it's important for us as individuals to understand the concepts in as much as we are going to be looking at the practicals also, right? The labs and the practicals also. Now, I usually, talk more about this because whenever you go for an interview, the first thing they will ask is an oral interaction with you, right? Now, your ability to pass that oral interaction, questioning, interview, right? Oral interview, that's that will depend if you will proceed to the next stage, right? So that's why concept is as important as lab practices, right? Concept is very important. So when you go for an interview, they'll just ask you, okay, tell us, apart from you telling the interviewer about yourself, they begin to question you about security concepts that you know. Okay, can you tell us about what cryptography is all about? Now, why do we need cryptography? Now, that's where the role of, the concept you have learned over time during this course, has something to do, right? That's where it plays its own major role and impact. All right, so that's why it's important for us to first learn the concept, then go to the practical to put this into practice. All right, so I've just taken us through overview of all what we are going to be doing in CompTIA Security Plus. All right, so because we are still on the onboarding session, we are going to give time, right? We are going to give time for question and answer session, especially for those that are unable to make it down to the last class. You are unable to participate in the last class. You have questions to ask, or concerning what we have just seen or discussed today, the outline, practicals. If you have one or two things, that is coming as something not so clear to you, right? So we'll give time, we're giving time for you to, ask questions so that we clarify whatsoever it's not so clear to you. Now, apart from this same, when we move up from here, we'll be moving to ethical hacking, right? So also we're going to look at the overview of certified ethical hacking, look at the lab environment also, and how the environment look like. Then when we finish Security Plus, we'll be diving deep into certified ethical hacking. All right, so let me just stop here and give time opportunity for you guys to ask questions. You have something not so clear. Maybe you are not even available in the last class and you have one or two questions to ask regarding whatsoever, anything that has to do with cybersecurity. We are here to answer your question and clarify everything that comes to you as a doubt. All right. So you have a question to ask, just use the reaction button, right? By raising your hand, just go to the reaction tab, raise hand for recognition, and we'll give you time to ask your questions and we answer you. All right, so it's question and answer time. Go ahead and ask your question. Any question from anyone? Any question?
All right. So do we have any question?
Okay, good.
Hi, my name is Kenny, and I'm concerned about the storage in my system. So I don't know, how do you suggest I'm gonna get an extra storage for the program?
Right. So when it comes to storage, I'd like you to understand that adoption of cloud lab exercise help us to do away with your system resources, whether your storage is filled up or not, right? The cloud lab environment don't have anything to do with that. So far, your device can connect to internet, right? All storage to exercises over the lab are sponsored by article. They are sponsored by CompTIA, right? So CompTIA already put the storage, the processing, and so on and so forth, right? on the cloud. All you need to do is just to connect through your device to those virtual machine and use it. As a matter of fact, you can even use your phone or tablet to do that. So it makes it very easy for us. And that's why we're adopting that um, process to make things easy for us. When we are to deploy this physically, we have to consider this issue of your storage, right? But I think, Mr. Emmanuel, I don't know if we have one or two assistants to render based on that storage.
Okay. So you can reach out to me after now, so I'll be able to give you a guideline as to what you need to do. But I feel you can depending on how many the amount of storage you have on your computer at the moment, but if it's limited, you can actually upgrade it. You have to visit an engineer to do that. But I can reach out to me and I'll be able to walk you through what you need to do.
All right. So I need you to be relaxed. Don't bother your head. This course has nothing to do with your storage, right? So don't think because of that you will not be able to participate or carry on the course. No, 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 no. No. Resources on ground has nothing to do with your storage. And you can continue with the course successfully. And so at the end of the class, you can reach out to admin Emmanuel, and he will check through, right? What you can do presently and how to improve on your existing storage. All right, that's fine. Any other person? Any question? Please, let's ask.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you. This is not a question, but I want to make a suggestion. Can you hear me?
Very well, very
Good.
well. We can hear you very well.
My first question is it compulsory for everyone to be on WhatsApp?
Okay, admin Emmanuel, please.
Okay, so to answer that question, right, we use WhatsApp as an easy method to communicate, but we also send out for the assignments, we send out emails, and just to drop updates in respect to what's going on. If you have questions, you can easily communicate there. I believe most people actually closer to their WhatsApp than any other social media platform. So it's an easy method, easy medium for us to call quickly. So yeah.
Okay. I just want to make like a request. If it be possible, like before every meeting, if you can get a link to the email, is to I don't know whether it makes sense.
All right. So we
I prefer the
send it
email.
right? So what you need to do, right, to get reminders of your classes.
To the
So
email.
if you check the link,
Mm.
if you check the link sent to the group chat, there's a second link there. So that's to see the class time, in your calendar. All right. So that whenever the class starts, or it's 30 minutes or an hour to the class, you get a reminder and you can actually join from your Google account. But you will receive a Google invite respect to that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other questions? Those from YouTube, any questions? All right, I guess not. So just to iterate a bit for some people who are just joining today and didn't go over the class, the previous class recording. So the class is twice a week, all right? We have classes on Wednesday by this time, which is 5 p.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. WAT, as well as 12 a.m. CAT, respectively. Then on Saturdays, we have classes 12 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. WAT, and 7 p.m. CAT. So twice a week, and we'll be using the Google Classroom as a medium to send out tasks and assignments. We'll also be dropping the recordings once the class recording is ready for everyone to go back, watch, what was taught, and be able to practice with it. And also any necessary materials we'll be sending across via the Google Classroom as well as the WhatsApp platform. And I want to know if we have any questions in respect to that. We are good with that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's all good.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Lajide, do you have anything for us? Are we still
All right, so
in the
go ahead,
introductory
please.
Yeah, we're still in the introductory session of this course, because more people are, coming on board. So it's going to be a short one, an hour today. But go ahead, Mr. Lajide, for call it a day.
All right, so that's pretty much what we're going to be covering today. So as we discussed in the last class, the class is still very much open. So let's ensure we inform each and everyone around us that we know that this course will be, important too, right? Because the reason why we are clamoring on this over and over is because this edition is a special one, combining 3 major courses in the field of cybersecurity together in one program. 3 major in one program. So please, let's ensure to reach out to each and everyone that you know that this course will be of an advantage to, and let them take, this wonderful advantage just as you are doing, so that, at the end, when we'll be rounding up the course, each and every one of us will be happy we participated in this course. All right, so in the absence of any other question, we're going to be winding up here tonight as I hand over to Admin Emmanuel.
All right, thank you very much, sir. So please reach out in the platform if you have any questions. Reach out to me personally, any of the facilitators. We're there to assist in any way. And the next class, I'm going to send some videos, and some links to get some softwares that are necessary. I believe everyone has downloaded Zoom. So we'll be sending that. If you have any challenges, you can reach out, and we'll be able to go over that together to make sure that everyone is set for any lab exercises we'll be doing very soon. But thank you all for making it, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Hey, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Mhm.
Thank you.